Hello guys, welcome back once again to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about another Nigerian who has just been captured in the United States of America. US authorities arrest a Nigerian at Texas airport for up to $2 million romance fraud. This, I don't know how to put it. Nigerians, when it has to do with this fraud, I don't know what is wrong with our people. I'm not sure whether this story of fraud every now and then is going to stop anytime soon, because everybody wants to, boot a leak. Everybody wants to get money. Everybody wants quick money. All right, so people can. Nigerians are smart people, sure. But do you think they are using it in the wrong way? Now, in this generation and era, it is very difficult for you to scam all these Americans and never get caught. You can do it for years, and maybe you have stopped it, let's say, for example, and after 10 years, this thing will come back to haunt you when they open their files and discover that, oh, this is what happened 10 years ago. This human being actually scammed our citizens of so amount of dollars. They will start chasing after you. So in the history of these Oyibo people, there is nothing like, oh, forget about my past, I'm now a new creature. Even if you like, become the pastor of the biggest Pentecostal or whatever church in this world, they are not going to mind you. You are going to face the charges of what you have done in the last 10 years or whichever year they find you guilty of it. A 40-year-old Nigerian national, Franklin Ikechukwu Nwadialo, was arrested on arrival at an airport in Texas on charges linked to a multi-million-dollar romance fraud scheme. Nwadialo, indicted in December 2023 by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Washington, faces 14-count charges of wire fraud. The defendant allegedly scammed victims of up to $2 million by posing as a romantic partner deployed in the U.S. military. So this very format is very common with these Yahoo people. It's always very, very common with them. So this one seems to have just jumped into the problem itself. Maybe he was in Nigeria, and I'm not sure whether he was on wanted list or whether they were looking for him. So in this case, it's different from those people who were, declared wanted, and the US ordered the EFCC to help them to catch the person in Nigeria. But in this case, it seems that this person used his two legless legs and entered into the US. And once he arrived at the airport, they now look at their screen and say, oh, this guy, definitely he must be on the wanted list in the US, because if he wasn't, there was no way they would have caught up with him at the airport. All right. The defendant allegedly scammed victims of up to $2 million by posing as a romantic partner deployed in the US military. Nwadialo was traveling from Nigeria when he was taken into custody. He is now set to be transported to the Western District of Washington for arraignment. Voila. In a statement, U.S. Attorney Tessa M. Gorman disclosed the challenges of prosecuting defendants involved in overseas romance scams, stating, all too often, the defendants in these romance scams are overseas and unreachable by U.S. law enforcement. So some people, a lot of people have maybe, done this, and the U.S. is finding it very, very difficult to, to locate them, to find them, to arrest them. Now, instead of this one to relax at home where he's enjoying his life, he now went to US. Not knowing that these people has been waiting for him. It was like jumping into a net that has been waiting for you. You see where the problem lies. So he used his own legs to walk into a trap that has been set for him. According to her, she commended the investigators for their persistence in bringing the defendant to justice. According to the indictment and criminal complaint filed in the case, Nwadialo allegedly defrauded victims of more than 3.3 million US dollars. Wow, that's a big money. Imagine somebody getting 3.3 million US dollars. Now, imagine how much that will be in Nigerian currency. Please, how much would that be? 3.3 million US dollars. Almost, now be small money in millions. Nwadialo used various versions of the name Giovanni when he met his victims online on websites such as Match, Zusk, and the Christian Cafe. Nwadialo used false images for his profile and typically told the victims that he was in the military and deployed overseas, so he could not meet the victims in person. So they were doing love on phone until Goman said using these personas, Nwadialo invented many reasons he needed the victims to send him money. In one such case in 2020, he indicated he had been fined by the military for revealing his location to the victim. Voila. He asked the victim to help him pay the $150,000 fine. In all, the victim was defrauded of at least $2.4 million, almost one person. This one a better client. 2.4 million. Meanwhile, a second victim was contacted in 2019 to help move funds from US account to account controlled by the defendant and his co-scammers. In the instance, Nwadialo represented that he needed the help moving money in connection with his father's death. The victim transferred at least 330,000 US dollars to the account controlled by the defendant, Goman said. Goman explained that a third victim was defrauded by Nwadialo when he told her that he was investing money for her. International investor. He claimed that a check she received from another victim was proceeds from her investment, and he had her reinvest the money in a specific cryptocurrency account that he controlled. The victim transferred at least 270,000 US dollars at Nwadialo's direction, Goman said. More than plenty. According to the statement in August 2020, Nwadialo defrauded another victim who he met on an online dating site and caused this victim to transfer at least 310,000 US dollars by claiming he needed financial assistance, including help paying for his father's funeral or his son's school tuition. The 14 counts of wire fraud relate to the communications with Nwadialo and the wiring of funds from victims to the defendant and his co-scammers. Goman noted that wire fraud is punishable by up to 20 years in prison. The charges contained in the indictment are only allegations. A person is presumed innocent unless and until he or she is proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law, the statement said. Goman further stated that the FBI is investigating the case, which is being prosecuted by Assistant United States Attorney Sok Jiang. See wahala. So let me know whether you think that this person will succeed, whether this person will break free or break loose from the hands of these US government officials. But I'm not sure, because before these people could hold that very guy, they must have seen something. You know, all these other further investigations are just to patch up the whole issue. They have gotten who they are looking for. Okay, go and give them back their money and be a free man. So wire fraud. You know, in this era now, you'll be using computer. If you are doing fraud, you will not know that even the camera on your computer or your phone, they are using it to see you. That is how sophisticated all these gadgets that we are using are. They can use it to be seeing you, and you don't know that the authorities are seeing you because they have access to all these gadgets that we use. The police in your country, in US, in Europe, knows what is going on in your phone, but you don't know. All right, so that is why it's difficult to use your phone to commit crimes, or your laptops, and you are bombing and all that, and you think they are not seeing you. Omo, they are seeing you, just that they don't want to come. One day they will come for you, and it will shock you. Except you do quick and die. After you get all the money, just do quick and die. So they will say, oh, okay, don't die, then case closed. All right, so that's that. And before I go, I have this video where this guy was talking about another fraudster too. But before that, if you want to send money to Nigeria, don't forget to use tap send to do that very transaction. It is reliable and also has very high rate. Their money they high well. So just try and use my promo code to enjoy additional money on the money that you are sending. This app is downloadable from Play Store or Apple Store. God bless you. Now let's proceed with this other one here.
Today's story comes from Maryland, where a businessman, Vince Atkins, had been accused of committing COVID-19 relief fraud and tax fraud. Atkins once owned different transportation companies in the US. Over time, all his companies ceased operations except one. From 2019 to 2022, instead of Atkins paying the tax of his remaining staffs, he allegedly kept the money to himself, failing to pay the full tax amounts to the government. He used this to amass a large amount of unpaid tax money. Then, in 2022, COVID-19 relief funds became available to businesses through the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP. The relief funds provide loans to help small businesses keep their workers on payroll. Here is where Akin took his scheme to the next level. He submitted 4 fraudulent PPP loan applications for his companies, which have long shut down, using falsified documents. With this move, he was able to secure $387,000 PPP loans. Once approved, these loans didn't need to be paid back if used for eligible expenses. But Akin reportedly had different plans. Rather than using the funds to sustain payroll or cover business expenses, he allegedly transferred around $151,000 to personal accounts in Nigeria, a clear case of money laundering, as these funds were meant to support American workers and businesses. Beyond the PPP fraud, Akin also failed to file his own 2020 personal tax return altogether. Now, the charges against Atkins are severe. He faces bank fraud, money laundering, employment tax violation, and failure to file a tax return. Each bank fraud charge could bring up to 30 years in prison, while each money laundering charge has a 10-year sentence. Employment tax violation could add 5 years per count, and failing to file a return could lead to an additional years. If found guilty on all counts, Akin could be looking at close to life in prison. Stay away from crime to avoid paying the price of imprisonment. Remember, crime doesn't pay. Stay safe.
All right, so you heard that. That's from one of our brother there. I am Mark Space. Okay, so a lot of things are happening around the world. A lot of our people are inside prison today because of this quick money. Everybody's looking for the shortest cut to get right there. Let me know your opinion and share this video as well to also create awareness and let our people know that it is very difficult for people to do fraud now and go scot-free without being caught, except after making the money. You buy yourself and stay away from this world. I'll see you guys on the next video. Please share, like, comment, and subscribe. God bless.